What is up?
Guys and ghouls, welcome to Wednesday. It is another incredible edition of Sidekicks Paranormal, and we have some really awesome guests. In fact, one of the guests, you may know him, mostly because he's been made famous by that very short clip in our intro, where I chase him with a scooter. But before we get on to that, and of course, we should have Josh, the jumping bean Purvis, with us shortly as well. I'll leave this over to Miss MaryLynn to kind of give us a little bit more about our guests, and then over to Hank the Tank.
Well, we have going to be Shane Pittman and Josh Purvis with the Searchers. So off to you.
Well, we don't have a bio.
So what do you know about?
So let's just talk about the Searchers. The Searchers have their own show, right? Their own Patreon account.
Yeah.
You guys travel the nation. You got some great shows, and one day I'm gonna be almost as cool as you, Shane Pittman.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Y'all are the cool ones. Been doing the Searchers for a long time now. Probably the concept of everything was 12 or 13 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. And
that was when you were still going through puberty.
Yeah, now I'm way past that. I'm way past that now, as you could tell with the gray. But it was a concept that me and Josh had about, we're all on a journey. We're all searching for something to some capacity, and we wanted to document that and kind of bring people along for the ride. And that's what we've been doing for the last 12, 13 years. So super blessed to be able to do that and meeting cool people like y'all and working with you and stuff. So it's been really good.
That's awesome, man. So let me ask you, another part of the Searchers is your podcast called The Paranormal Mind.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that for?
Oh, God, how long has it been? I think it's been 2 years now.
About 2 years, because it's fantastic quality. Guys, if you anybody that has not subscribed on their YouTube channel to The Paranormal Mind, it's also on Spotify. It's on.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Zip Whipley, I'm so sorry I cut you off. But yeah, it's anywhere you get your podcast, basically. So, I mean, whatever platform you use, we should show up there. And if not, let us know and we'll try to get on there as well. But I appreciate that too. It's basically just talking about the strange and unusual and everything in between, just talking about our lives, talking about what's going on in the industry and all the cool people that maybe don't get their voice heard as much as others, try to give them a voice to be able to talk about them and stuff. So it's been really cool. It's been really cool.
Zip Whipley would like to thank you so much for having us on your show as a guest. It was a fantastic time. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Okay. So y'all know who he is by now. He's being sarcastic, but
yes.
So we were doing the show in the studio and stuff for the longest time, like in person, because the audio and the video and stuff that we put on our Patreon is so much better quality when you do it that way, of course.
Yeah.
But we have been moving to virtual because, as y'all know, that we can't really talk about right now. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that we've been working on, been extremely busy. So we've been doing a lot of virtual podcast episodes. So, yeah.
Would you like to talk about those things that you can't talk about?
I would love to, but I can't. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would as soon. It's going to be extremely soon. I'll just say that. But we can't talk about it yet. So if you are going to Gettysburg at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, you will find out what that is, and then later on that same day, everybody will find out.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. We've been working alongside with y'all as well, and y'all are a part of it. So that's a really cool thing. You know, again, being able to work with people that we didn't work with in the past, and getting to see new perspectives and new ways of doing things and stuff is really rewarding. It's a really cool thing to be a part of. And what we've got for everybody, what we've got planned is big.
It's huge.
It's big.
I mean, it's definitely more than 6 inches.
Oh my God! Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. I knew. There's no maturity rating before you just throw it all in there, and everybody's just got to hear it like in real time. There's
true.
No warning.
There's no warnings.
I believe the for what's about to transpire, I think the critics have labeled it, quote unquote, girthy. Like that's how big it is.
And hopefully, oh shoot, man, I heard an echo just now, but hopefully there's no critics yet. Hopefully there's no real critics yet, because we haven't even announced anything. So it'd be really bad if we're already starting with critics.
Already there, yeah.
Yeah.
So Josh, the jumping bean Purvis, has not come in yet, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and do our spirits for the spirits without him.
I gotta. God dang, y'all hear that, or is that just me?
It's just you.
No, I can hear it. So when you get close to the mic is when it's doing it.
So y'all can hear me if I just sit back like this?
Yes.
Yep. Just fine.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect. I'm not going to do that again. That's terrifying. But I got a text. I got a text from Josh, and he I saw Trevor's comment. That's funny.
Yeah.
He's going to hop on in just a second, so
cool.
He should be in anytime.
Well, I'm going to go ahead. So I've got my Buchanan's pineapple eventually.
I've got my water.
Yeah, let's mix with gin.
That's right.
With a little ball sweat mixed in.
Of course. Can't go without that.
There it is.
Oh my God.
There he is. My God, dude.
Hey! Doing spiritual spirits? I don't know if you got anything.
I got nothing. Sorry.
That's all right. Everybody else, drink up, buttercup.
Hard at work.
Yep.
For some reason, I was thinking this was a 9 o'clock thing, and you guys in your West Coast time.
Right. Okay, so now that you're here, I have something for both
That's
of you.
Always not good.
It's something that I learned that I'm ashamed that I actually did not know that is a part of history. And I only bring this up because I do think there are supernatural tendencies to the Egyptian era. Okay. So I recently found out, I don't know how much you guys know about King Tutankhamun. Okay.
Yep.
Or as I say, anytime I fart and then my wife farts, I say we must have been Egyptian in our past lives. And she said, why? I said, because we've got toots in common.
Oh my God.
Hey-o! Okay, so anyway.
Hey, Josh, where's your sound machine when we need it?
Yeah, right.
Every other freaking time.
I saved that just for you, though, buddy.
No, I'm on the podcast, so you should have it right now.
It should be there. So this is what I found out about King Tut, and what I found really interesting, and one of the things, like, I've never really had any desire to go check out the pyramids of Giza or anything like that, but now I kind of do. So they found out
Oh, I would love to. Yeah.
King Tut, who was from 1332 to 1323. So he was only a pharaoh for like 9 years, 9 to 11 years. I'm not sure how that, because it's all backwards there. So, but it turns out he was the product of an incestuous marriage.
Oh no.
Between his parents.
Hold on. You're too close to the mic, Josh. I did the same thing, but you hear a big echo.
What?
Yeah. So you can sit back and it's good. Sorry, Zip.
You're good.
So
That damn Zip.
Yeah.
So his parents were his siblings. They were brother and sister. They have King Tut. So because of that, I didn't know this, but apparently they've discovered that he had like serious deformities, physical deformities.
Yeah, that happens.
He had like a club foot, like his foot was twisted. He had a severe overbite, and he had breasts. They say he had breasts.
He's about to say that I'm reincarnated. Watch. I know. Watch. He's about to say I'm reincarnated.
I think
he had
this gives us
premature
all
death.
hope that he succeeded in life. So can we.
Yeah, right. I mean, I know you guys have done most of your stuff here in America, but have you ever had a desire to go abroad?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So luckily I got to go to the UK, but there's other places I wanted to go, like Paris, like the catacombs and stuff like that. I would love to go and check that out. The pyramids, you mentioning all that is fascinating to me. Just exploring different cultures and all of that, I think would be amazing. I know whenever I was in the UK, it's just fascinating how they live, how, even how they communicate with each other sometimes is different. The food is different,
It's true. I know in Cairo, the main source of protein is actually pigeon.
Oh no.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm very serious.
Oh no.
Yes, so be ready. Annie, Trevor, I know it's old news, but I just learned about it, so it's new to me.
Yeah, I just knew a reference was Shane's reincarnated as King Tutankhamun or something. I knew that was coming.
So that was coming.
Yeah.
You could always say, Michael, I got a tootin' coming.
That's right, I got a tune coming. So, MaryLynn, as a psychic, do you think Tutankhamun has been recycled, or do you think he's still hanging around, or what's your thoughts on that?
Everybody's recycled. I think, he's already came back a couple times.
Think so?
Yep.
So you're a strong believer in like reincarnation.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
But I mean, if that's the case, does that mean there's no like old ghosts? Like,
No, I think there is. It's just if you choose to reincarnate or not. You have that choice.
I got a good question for you, MaryLynn.
Okay.
Get your opinion on it. Do you think that we all are part of a bigger like soul? Like we're all like a piece of
a soul patch?
All connected.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop it right now. Like a collective consciousness is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I really haven't thought about that. So as a collective consciousness, I think we're all interconnected in ways, but not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah. So I think that like as you like split off, and I think it plays into reincarnation a bit. Like as you split off, you could split off and become like anyone, but you still have the same like sliver of soul, I guess. But then like it's all part of a, when you die, you go back to the collective and then you go get pushed out somewhere else. And it's all for like some learning.
That is kind of the way that I look at it, as far as you going back, I call it in limbo. So you're in limbo and then you still have lessons to learn. So you reincarnate. So
yeah.
The choice.
Well,
movie Logan's Run.
Logan's Run.
Phil, have you? No? All right, well, I'm going to talk about it in just a minute, but Phil, what's your take on this?
On reincarnation?
Yeah, and like being part of like the sum of the whole, being a part of it.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. 9 months ago, I didn't even believe in ghosts and psychics and any of this other stuff. So give me a little time. I don't really know. I don't really know.
I respect
Yeah,
that.
that's a good answer, man. That's a good answer.
You know, I have a little thought on that. So you know how a lot of times we'll have thoughts come in where it's like out of nowhere, and sometimes they're very insightful, and there's you know, some people think of things and they'll write songs in like 5 minutes that are just masterpieces that they say came out of nowhere, right? So what if it is a like Josh was saying as well, like a collective consciousness that's where those thoughts are coming from, is like a bigger picture, a bigger collective than maybe what we realize.
So you're kind of looking at it as the collective are what we consider the guides. So our guides give us that information.
Well, I think we are the guide. I think just at a higher level, we all together are the guide. Like we're all going out and we're learning bits and pieces to bring it back for something.
Yeah, we all have toots in common.
Yes.
Oh God. Tara McLeod, she's in the chat, and she actually gave me this book, and she's absolutely right. That there's a book called Between Death and Life: Conversations with a Spirit by Dolores Cannon, and she talks about soul connections and all of that stuff that really dives into what we're talking about right now. So if anybody wants to go and check that out, please do.
Cool.
Talks a lot about it.
I've yet to read that book, Tara, but I think about that. I think about that soul contract thing often. So
I brought up the movie Logan's Run, and the reason why I did that, for those who haven't seen it, I'll kind of give you a brief synopsis. Annie, we'll see you there. Basically, the movie takes place in a dystopian future where everyone has basically a gem, right? And once you turn a certain age, your gem basically will run out of color, right? Once your gem runs out of color, that means you have to go basically to this arena where you mix in with everybody else's gems who basically ran out, and then you're chosen. You go through this thing, and somebody's going to get chosen to basically go on to a better life, right? That's kind of the whole
concept.
Point of the movie, cool concept. But it's possible. What if it's possible that it could be something like that in the afterlife? What if you don't actually have the choice to move on? What if it has to be chosen for you? What if, kind of like Beetlejuice, he gets the number, it's a waiting line. What if it's something like that? Hey, all right, go take a number. Maybe you don't even know when your number is. You don't know when your time is.
So Jesus.
Like a bureaucratic purgatory.
Yeah, like purgatory kind of.
Yeah, but maybe you don't even realize that you're in it. You're just kind of.
That's interesting.
Yeah, what's cool about all of this is, especially with the paranormal and all things weird and spooky, is anything's up for anything's possible.
That's what's great about it. It's like there's a high strangeness out there, and we're all just still trying to figure out what it is.
And that's what we do is trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
I think about when kids are, you have these situations where kids are born and they have these memories of a life that they didn't have, a past life.
Yep.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but take SD cards, right? They store information on them. When you delete an SD card, it actually does not delete.
It just kind of crunches it and slams it aside, right?
It doesn't get deleted until it gets overwritten, right? So what if that is happening with kids, right? Where they haven't been on the planet long enough to be completely overwritten. So then you end up with these situations of they still have memories from before.
And that's where you get the deja vu, right. It's like you've already been there, or it's something that's already happened, or you've seen that before. I agree.
So that takes us into a whole nother realm. Phil, you can, but I'm going to bring up the D word. Okay. I'm bringing up demons. Okay. Because demons aren't like you and me, right? Could they exist? They may not. Like Shane, Josh, I think anybody that's watching this podcast that knows that our point of view is that they're far fewer and between than what some other proponents might tell you. I think they're very rare if they do exist, if at all. But my point to that is that in elementals, for example, which are something other than human, right? So cryptids, something other than human, right? So if there are these things that are other than human, does the same principle, the same concept that we're talking about now, does that apply to them? And if it doesn't, well, then what the hell is going on?
Well, maybe it does, right? And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe that is the whole point, is there is a higher collective even for them. And I truly believe that, yes, they have to be few and far between, because look at like aliens,
I can't look at aliens. They're hiding.
Yes, but statistically proven about like what we know about the universe and space and whatnot, it would be really dumb of us to think that we're the only ones there. That being said, we live inside our own little bubble. Therefore, statistically, the things that we come in contact the most, even in the paranormal, would be a reflection of ourselves, right? It would be people, and then after death, it would be spirits. That does not mean that's all there is, though. So by default, everything else we come in contact with, there would be less of them, because that is the world that we live in. That's the bubble we live in, right? If our bubble grew and became a lot bigger, where we discovered aliens and they became where we were contacting and spending time with them on a daily basis, that whole paradigm would change because of that, where no longer would...
Well, you'd have 20 cents.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's vibration and frequency too. That's a discussion that we really need to have, because like, let's take outer space and what we do know of it, which is very little, right?
Well, it's outside.
We're in the Milky Way. It's outside. We're in the Milky Way galaxy, right? So like, what if we're just on different frequencies and vibrations, and same with the D word and possible cryptids and all of this stuff. They really operate in the same frequencies.
That's what's really cool about it. So if you think like Wi-Fi signals and radio signals and Bluetooth signals, those are all frequencies that we just can't see with the naked eye, right? So but
what a great idea.
They are happening around us, right? They're happening around us. We're just not built to see
exactly
them. And we're not built to hear them.
That's what I was about to say. Like, our
imagine a world where we were, though. And
what's interesting about that is
the world would get a lot larger.
Dogs can hear frequencies that we can't, but they also say that dogs can see, like undead or spirits that we can't. So maybe there's something to that.
Yep.
And cats. Nobody cares about cats, okay? Don't bring in cats. God.
Ryan, I'm in here, man.
Yeah, so behind
the D word.
Your cat on your bed. I keep seeing his tail doing.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a slug.
I think a lot of times the D word is overused just for fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of course.
It is. Yeah.
You sit there and say that there isn't one here and there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what everybody's beliefs are. Leave that alone. But it's
right guy.
Things that the demons, I think, are very few and far between. I think if you believe in the paranormal, you believe in a lot of the paranormal. So I would say that a lot of the things that are demonish, if you will, or more like
for sure,
stuff like that.
Well, agreed.
Well, let me just say this too. Like, so yeah, the D word is used way too much, right? Yeah, I honestly believe that. But at the same time,
I don't even go on Pornhub anymore for that reason.
Oh my God, here we go.
Oh my God.
So, to that point though, for us to unequivocally say, hey, they don't exist when you don't truly know, it's not very responsible either. Like, you could say all day long that you don't believe they exist, and that's fine. But to make a definitive statement that they don't, when we don't really know, is problematic as well. So
it's really interesting because I've gone to believe now I do not try a lot to just like openly disprove anything, but instead I try to find ways about how if somebody's going through something, how it
their
could
experience,
because that's the reality, right? That's where reality is the perception and the experience. So it doesn't even matter what we believe in. It matters if you're trying to help somebody, it matters what they believe in, and you help them from their world,
right.
not from ours.
You pick it apart from there. Like that's the baseline when you are trying to assist or help somebody. Yeah.
Well, and that's why you're looking at what their beliefs are, what they're going through, but then you assess what they're going through and then add your own stuff to it. And it's like, let's expand. This is what I'm seeing. This is what is going on. So that kind of opens their mind to, okay, there are other possibilities. So maybe that really don't have the demon in my house. It's just something.
Right. Yeah. Energy. And that's where like the whole world of intention and thought form stuff comes into play, right? Because if a mass amount of people believe something, then by default it becomes real. Reality is perception. There is no
absolutely. Yeah.
A great example of that is
science is built around that.
Right?
Yeah.
Sci-fi movies or shows that come out, and then it turns out some of that technology actually exists or comes into existence in the future.
Exactly.
It's where they've got the ideas. It's preconceived.
That's how we humans with all of their faults are always very, very good at like finding ways to make like unbelievable things, right? We can make things beyond the furthest links of our imagination. But how do we do that, right? We do that from
it's got to come from somewhere.
We make it up.
Yeah, it's got to come from somewhere. Laura, Lacey, apologies. I love cats too. Howdy, Marcy. And how does Benny know that this isn't my real name?
That's true.
Saying.
You don't. It could be if you chose it.
And going back to what you were saying about reality and stuff, like if you think about it, our perception, our reality is the only reality for each one of us, which is kind of mind blowing if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, Tara. It doesn't
I'll
matter.
drink to that.
Listen to me. It doesn't matter how many podcasts I do. I will get picked on every single one of them. It doesn't matter which one it is. But anyway,
now I'm gonna have to go look.
Whew.
Wow.
Oh, wait, MaryLynn. So you haven't seen the lead singer of Skillet?
I have not.
I'm
gonna go look
right now.
You are in for a treat.
Yeah. He's on our
You're about to get your mind
now.
freaking blown right now.
Tara, I just have to say right now, you absolutely suck right now for even bringing this into the conversation. Oh man,
he's your doppelganger.
You guys are known for doing the Estes method. How did that come about?
Oh, you can't say that, Phil. Can't say Estes. We get
I did that on national streaming and national television and got absolutely annihilated because I have an accent.
Yeah,
like I say Estes. I say a lot of things that are from the I just talk Southern. But yeah, it's really Estes.
Yeah, we're just telling you from experience, buddy. We don't personally care.
I don't care, but yeah, some people do. Yeah, whatever.
All right, I'm putting the picture beside you. I gotta compare it. I'm sorry.
But what were oh my God.
We've completely derailed MaryLynn.
I do not look like this guy, by the way. So everybody that watches,
disapprove it. I actually now have 3 times been told that I look like Vic Fuentes from Pierce the Veil.
You do, man. You do.
Yeah. I have gotten that one, so I get it.
I want to know who in the chat knows who Pierce the Veil is, first off.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I actually did not at first because people were like, hey, you look like Vic Fuentes. I was like, fuck you, pal. I don't know who that is. Turns out, okay, that's
how dare you call me?
Yeah. What you call me?
Say it to my face.
So now that we've talked about that, I kind of want to talk about events. And so like you guys just did this incredible special called the Ura Shrine.
Yeah.
Right? And that really kind of focused on a lot of incredible pieces of history, items, articles, and attachments that can kind of take place with those items, right? So with that, I mean, because that's kind of interesting, right? Because that's not like so much maybe a person as it is. I mean, what would you classify that as? What would you identify that as? Like just like a emotional attachment, energy attachment?
I want to say that it is a perfect embodiment of kind of what we're talking about here a little bit, where if you think it can happen, right? So you are looking at a location where anybody that practices anything is invited to practice their craft, where they have a home, right? And then
no
on
matter
the
what
other,
it is,
no matter what it is, and on the other side of that, you can go there. On the other side of that, you have the gatekeeper there, Rick, who also is accepting artifacts that may be broken, that might be at a yard sale that he comes across, that or they might just get dropped off there, and he uses those artifacts to he can sense a balance within the Ura Shrine, so he will go and move the artifacts to different sectors of the location to keep an energy balance, because there is what you would call dark or negative energies there. There's light energies there and everything in between. Yeah. And they're there because they've been invited to be there.
And if anybody doesn't believe in positive energy, negative energy, how many times have you said to somebody, hey, don't be so negative? Or, hey, that guy's really happy, right? That's just energy, right? That's just energy projecting. So it does exist, you know?
Yeah. And I agree with Zip big time, because there's even scientific evidence of this. Like, you know, that your words and like your energy projected to plants whenever they're growing and all of this other stuff can positively or negatively affect their growth. If you didn't know that, go check out some of the
was it
documents and
epigenetics?
journals.
Yeah.
No. Epigenetics is a different thing, but they're talking about how your positive affirmations, your positive words. Directed
it's Ebenezer.
Ebenezer, yeah. So, but you know, Ebenezer Scrooge, right? A negative person that then brings in a negative life because of it.
Right. And then discovers positive energy and then changes
positive life. That is the perspective of manifestation, right? So manifestation is not a magical term. It's not something that just happens. It's a thought process where you are more readily accepting positive outlooks than you are negative outlooks. Then by default, when you want something, you're finding ways to get it, not ways how you're not getting it.
Right.
Well, and we believe in equality here, so it could be womanfestation. Okay.
Yes.
I was about to say transfestation, but then that sounds like a bunch of trans people in your house and won't leave. Transfestation? Yeah, that's not good. So that's not what we mean. But
anyway, like like if you've heard of good vibes, bad vibes, right? It sounds woo-woo, but like it at its base level, that goes back to manifestation and stuff. When you're operating in like a good place, in a good vibrational place, you're going to look for all of the good and you're going to pull it to you, right? And it's the same with the negative. If you're always focused on the negative, you're going to find every single negative thing in your life or surrounding it, and you're going to attract that to you. So it's
and you just made a very interesting connection. I don't even know if you realize this, but you use the word vibes, and earlier you were talking about vibrations.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So I mean, there really could be. I mean, there could be more to a vibration connection than what we really, you know, maybe we take it for granted. I mean, look at how music can affect your mood.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think just chilling. Misery does love company. That's true.
Well, and the thing is, you can't have positive without the negative, though.
Right.
So, this is where the yin and yang kind of stuff happens. And this is where the Urashine has a spot, right? Because there's a balance to all of it. There truly is a balance to life. And it's further outside of your personal perspective of that, though, right? It's a balance that is, I think, against the collective.
For every excellent filet mignon you eat, there is a foul-smelling bowel movement right behind it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Zip, you're well versed in that, aren't you?
So well versed right now, you have no idea.
Oh my God.
So I also want to talk about how that could impact an environment. So I learned in 1960, and this actually takes place in Texas, MaryLynn, at midnight on June 15th in 1960, the residents of Copperell, I don't know if you ever heard of that place. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Copperell, Texas. Copperell? Coppell. They thought the world was actually ending. A meteorological phenomenon struck the town. There was 75-mile-an-hour gusts of winds, and the temperature rose to 140 degrees.
I died.
All the crops were instantly scorched. They called it Satan's storm.
That's insane.
That's in 1960. So no cell phones, no internet. So you legitimately could be like, okay, well, this is it, man.
This is it. How do you imagine not even having the ability to like move away from outside of that? Your whole life could be built around the fact that the world has ended. Like,
well, that's just a normal day in the South.
Sprinkle some water in there, you're good. Yep. Like
we literally live in Satan's butthole, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to be a little, but it's basically
Satan's got swamp ass, and that's where we live.
You're from Missouri, so you know all about that too.
Oh yeah, but right now it's currently in Vegas. As of right now, it's still 106. So
it's been 100.
Oh yeah, there you go. There he goes.
We need a tally in the chat. Do they look the same?
I need an autograph.
Yeah, sorry, I had to.
Y'all suck so bad. You know that.
You're amongst the best of friends, buddy.
I know.
So that makes what I'm getting at is it possible, vibrational or negative, positive, that maybe some of these catastrophes that have happened on Earth, could that be a cause of spiritual energy? You know what I mean? Pompeii, for example, or Mount St. Helens eruptions, or the earthquake that happened in 2011 or 2001 or 99, I forget, took out like half of the Indonesian beaches. It was nuts. The one that took out all the reactors in Tokyo, Chernobyl. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you think there could be something like spiritual to that as well?
So I think if you look at like the planet as a being, right, it has its own life force to it as well.
Sure.
And we may have the best intentions on like a soul level, but as like a physical body, we're like a virus to that thing, right? Mm-hmm. But make no mistake, it will cure itself. Like it with all the damage, there will be a balance to that at some point, and it will, things got to get bad before it gets better. Kind of the same mentality, right? And the planet's existed far longer than we have. So,
well, yeah, and we call all of this stuff natural disasters and stuff, but we don't really know. Like views on science itself changes daily, right? We have new discoveries and all of that. Yeah. We've got new discoveries and stuff like that all the time. What if it's way more than what we're realizing at the time? We're only explaining it again due to our perception of how we're perceiving what's going on around us, but we really don't truly know the larger scope of what's going on.
It's really interesting.
Another thing. Sorry, I'll let you.
No, you're good.
Just one more thing. Another thing, like we focus on space all the time, right? And what's out there. But I was blown away how much we have not really
I'm sorry, start
explored.
over. I spaced it.
Spaced out.
I was blown away by how much we have not explored the oceans. Like
Yeah.
we've only explored maybe 8% of all of what's going on with the oceans, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. So there's so many things that could be going on right in our Earth's atmosphere that we have no clue about,
Yeah, so what's interesting is that science is just our best effort at trying to like
justify
and create a world that we can make sense of, right?
Yes.
And so it doesn't mean that you shouldn't listen to it, because it does come with years and years of history and experiences behind it, right? But it's evolving just like we are, right? We're learning things every year, new animals, new species, every single year.
every year.
The things that I learned in high school have virtually been rewritten by the things that they have learned since.
Yep.
And it is truly, truly unbelievable.
This is why we need to be more open-minded with people too, and kind of give each other a little bit of grace, like even with our beliefs and viewpoints, because we could be very firm in our beliefs and be absolutely wrong, right? So I think it's really good to listen to each other, learn what we can when we can, because both of us that have those beliefs could be 100% wrong.
Yeah.
So show some grace to people. Be kind to each other a little bit,
It's a matter of perspective too. You only know what you know.
Science and religion are the same coin, different sides. So at any given moment, you never know which one's gonna flip and be right.
Well, that's true. The Navy, you can have the absolute most clear, beautiful seas, literally, legitimately glass, and you can also have 40-foot swells and hurricanes. So when it comes to vibrations, I don't know if it comes to vibrations. I kind of feel like nature's fury will do as it pleases.
But it may not be fury either. There could be beauty in that, right? Then
I guarantee there is. Like in the middle of a hurricane, supposed to be gorgeous, right?
Right. What I do find interesting is that as humans, we have a huge understanding now of how ecosystems of like species and stuff are important, right?
Right, like bees, for example.
Yeah, bees, great. Sharks too. Sharks. And how we have to have some kind of self-control within those ecosystems to make sure that they stay balanced.
Yeah.
Right. If they're unbalanced, then it hurts us as well. So it is interesting to me that we can understand that concept, but we can't understand it on like a global scale. It's
agree.
That is very true.
That's kind of the way looking at DNA. So when they first started looking at DNA, it was just very basic. Now that is expanding, and they're learning so much more about the DNA of how it affects other people and what's going on with it. Yeah. So just having those open mind, and that's the biggest thing, is most people don't have an open mind. And
DNA is a great example of something that we have learned and discovered that 30, 40, 50 years ago was like
non-existent.
And we would have no idea what DNA is without our ABCs.
That is true.
That's right.
You're absolutely right. And DNA, MaryLynn, that's a very good point. Also, cells, like our cellular structures, we're comprised of trillions of cells, right? And again, I've talked about this before about epigenetics, which is above the cell. And as scientists and biologists, cellular biologists, are learning that based on your environment, your whole cellular structure can change according to that environment. So if you are in a positive environment, your body reacts positively, your cells flourish. You don't have disease, you don't have anything negative like that. Things start aligning and your body starts aligning how it should. But when we step out of that positive environment, that's when you have disease. Like if you do it that way, it's dis-ease. Your body's in dis-ease, and things can go haywire just based off that. It's just fascinating, all this stuff.
And that's where if you're not exposed to both of those, and say you're in that positive environment all the time, but then when you get into that negative environment, how do you handle it? What do you do?
And it's like the grass isn't always greener too, right? That's where that whole concept comes from, is like if you stay within a positive environment, you can't, and then you feel bad about that environment. It's only because you're looking at it from the perspective of where you, right?
Right.
Well, and again, I think going back to vibrations again, I think you can step into a negative vibration or environment and raise that to a level to where it is more beneficial, and to where your vibrational field or whatever kind of raises everything around you.
For sure.
Better.
For sure.
Yeah, I always encourage everybody to listen to music when they're in a bad mood.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's a lot of times the music you listen to is created because somebody was in a bad place and they said, "Hey, I need a way out."
And
it made them feel better.
Yeah, it made them feel better.
Sometimes too with bad situations, and it's like I've really tried to learn this for myself. Is like if you're having a bad day, sometimes it's okay to just have a bad day.
Because you had a bad day,
and you just kind of let it roll. Sometimes it doesn't have to be fixed. Not everything has to be fixed. It just
is.
It will come and go, and it's just time.
And because not everything is going to be perfect.
No.
So the big question is, will you be getting matching tattoos with us in Gettysburg?
Oh.
Okay, it depends on what it is, because if you choose a
tattoo,
I'm getting a tattoo already. So
are you? What are you getting?
Yeah, I don't know.
A picture of me.
Yeah.
Oh, on his ass cheek. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Everybody's like, "Wow, you really like Skillet."
Oh God!
Do we have to make appointments? How does this work?
Yeah. You'll be able to do them the day of, though.
All right.
So, we talked a little bit about the fact that you guys do your podcast, Paranormal Mind. What people may not know is you are also assisting us with Pair with the Normal. So Shane and Josh have been directors, producers for our show that we're currently filming. We still got a few more things to film, but the journey up into this point has been. What are your thoughts, Shane, on filming?
Jesus, good Lord! Y'all have to just warn me. Just sit back before you ask me anything. It's been an absolute joy, honestly. Like sometimes I get in the heat of like work mode, and it seems like, okay, we got to get this. I'm almost like we got to get this stuff done. But it's been a joy. It's really cool to sit back and think of producing something that people have not seen before to this level. And that's very rewarding for me and Josh. Josh can speak for himself on this, but it's been great, and seeing y'all and how the chemistry between all of you kind of flows together it just makes our job at the end of the day a lot easier. So it's been great. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So for me, it all sucked. I'm just kidding.
I hate you all.
Good vibrations, bad vibrations.
Right?
No, especially right now, because we've just gotten done, in post-production with the first episode. He's currently working on the second episode. And so we're hitting this reality where, we put a lot of filming hours into this stuff, and now it's all kind of coming in together, and you're getting a little bit more of a vision as to the trajectory of what it all could become, and the growth that could be there in that too, right? So how you guys could grow as being the cast, and how the world around you could grow as we were telling like this story, you know. So there's a lot of opportunities that you're seeing for the first time just by looking at it now. Obviously filming it on set is it's fantastic, right? It's fun. The great thing about it is that when people see it, it is all truly unscripted.
Yeah, it really is.
We have a very unique way of how we film it to keep it unscripted.
Yeah.
So we don't have
It's all
anything.
chasing us around is what it is.
Yes, yeah, like we don't know what's going to be said at any given time. But sometimes things get said and we're like, oh, we weren't even ready to capture this. Let's reshoot that because it was really good.
Yeah.
And then we take all of that.
Right?
Yeah, reshoots happen. They have to happen. And it's not because we're trying to like change anything about what was said. We're trying to make it look better, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not ready in the time. But
try editing it.
You get it. Oh shit, that's funny. Everybody's laughing, and everybody's like, "All right, we got to redo that again because this guy."
Yeah, exactly. Because you just don't know. So it's all like the first time that we're hearing it too. So it's always been a good laugh because of that. Can't always predict what he's going to say or do. You're exactly right, Krista, because you truly don't know what he is going to do when he does it sometimes. And sometimes we're ready. Sometimes it's so like fast and quick that we're not ready.
Well, it takes him a minute to, it's like, did that compute? Like, oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, and that's the beauty. Early. That's the beauty of this show, right? So para with a normal, it's all in the name. Mike is trying to learn more and trying to figure things out. MaryLynn's taking him on this journey, right? And so, but you get the real Mike, you get the real MaryLynn, you get the real Phil in the later episodes that you guys will be seeing some. But you get them real. You see them on their podcasts and stuff, and nothing's different. But you get to see kind of the progression of what Mike learns and what MaryLynn learns from working with Mike and how Phil learns from both of them. So it's so cool to see it play out in real time. It really is.
I think Phil, you're a good example of like how the world around Para with a Normal will expand, right?
Yeah.
And we're after editing the very first episode, we're looking at it and we're like, man, now we need to eventually build a little bit of a story arc with Phil in it as well. You're right. So everybody has their time to be the main character in an episode, right? And I think that's where that world can branch out. And it, who knows what's going to happen.
And it's all organic too. It, just like how we said it's not scripted. It's one of those things where it plays out how it plays out. And again, the more Phil works with us alongside with, operating the camera and doing all the stuff he does, it's going to progress that way naturally. And I already know that because I'm seeing the flow of how things are playing out already.
Yeah.
And for anybody, there's going to be a really awesome announcement in Gettysburg. But we can promise you this show is not like any other paranormal show that has ever been created. It is truly unique, and there's going to be more uniqueness revolved around that show that will be revealed in Gettysburg.
Yep.
Yeah, and let me just prepare y'all a little bit. Like if you're used to like traditional ghost hunting and all of that stuff, this won't be the show. It's not the same show that you're used to seeing, like Mike was talking about. It's one of those things where you have to realize that Mike, he's like a comedian guy. He's a guy that loves to cut up and have fun. MaryLynn's the serious one, and Phil's along for that journey. He cuts up as well. But what you got to realize is it's not following as much like the traditional
investigations, right?
Right. It's following more of their journey and how they are processing and learning along the way. That is the story that Para with a Normal tells.
Yep. It's about a professional and an idiot, and one idiot's journey.
Well, and I think that's where my journey on it is loosening up, because with me being so, straight and trying to make sure that everything is right there. But behind the scenes, they're laughing about everything that he's doing. So that's making me loosen up. And that's where my journey and my character is going.
Right.
I hate it.
I know, right?
A million years would have seen myself with the camera in my hand. And I got to be honest, it is probably one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life.
Oh man, and you're doing a great job.
Wait till you try masturbation. Woo! That's gonna blow your mind, bro.
So
blow something.
He's the God. He's the comedian. He's the comedian. Josh and I and MaryLynn and maybe Phil are still the professionals. Okay.
Yes.
I just want everybody. I want to reiterate that.
I think the problem
I
is
do not endorse Zip Whipley for.
Phil's been around with Zip Whipley too much. Phil's been tainted by Zip Whipley over there, but
9-10 years now.
Yeah, in fact, the first time we met all of them was in South Dakota in Deadwood, and Mike and Phil were dressed up in like I think it was a Ghost Hunters outfit, and then Mario and Luigi. Then y'all were Mario and Luigi. Yeah.
I want to go back to the whole investigation thing too. So this will be a show that you could not necessarily be interested in the paranormal, but you will be interested in this show. But
because you will laugh. You will.
Hey,
laugh
it's a cool story, right? Each place has its own story, and you will get to learn stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. But guess what? Too, like we're working on other projects too that are investigative in nature.
With some incredible people too.
Yeah, right. So.
We'll be able to talk about that later.
Yep.
Gettysburg, folks.
That is as much as I'm gonna say.
Yep. Maybe we'll do like a live show from Gettysburg.
Yeah, maybe
for everyone that maybe can't make it. Due to time constraints. Maybe they're not allowed within 500 feet of United Airlines. I don't know. Whatever the issue is. Maybe we'll do live, that way everybody can see Michelle. Girl.
See Michelle. What's up?
Is that why you're driving there, Zip?
Yes, precisely.
He's blacklisted on airlines.
So I do want to let everybody know too that if you are showing up to Gettysburg, and you'll get to hear the announcement, but if you're not, you'll still get to hear the announcement later on that day. So it'll be announced in some fashion. And
there's a lot going on that day.
Yep. There's a lot going on this past.
Shane and I have been.
It's been so hectic lately.
Yeah,
but it's going to be
about
worth
20 hours a day right now.
If
you wonder why I was late to this podcast, that's why. It's because we're literally like
it's working nonstop. Yep.
I think that's something too that needs to be said for the people behind the scenes. I don't think they get enough credit for how much effort really has to go into creating a show, into creating even just a podcast. I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of logistics. So if you've got friends, you have family, anybody that is doing any type of show or podcast filming, support them because they need all the support they can get. I assure you.
Just even sharing it out helps.
Yeah. Again, you guys are seeing firsthand about like just all the nuanced pieces to it, right? Yeah. I mean,
it's hard sometimes when you're even setting up to film. You can be filming late, and people may not know this, but when it gets late, you cannot find places to eat.
No.
It's hard to find food, folks.
A lot of these places you can't find food anyway. The
struggle is real.
Yeah.
A lot of these places, like there's like a blinking light, and that's about it in the whole town. So
yeah.
So that's why Mike loads up on his snacks.
That's why there's so much candy.
I
don't
mean,
do that.
having the RV on some of these occasions has been kind of nice because we can get in there and we keep water and stuff in there, so that helps a lot.
That's right. You got the Searcher Suburban now.
Yeah, it's it comes with its benefits. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it sure does. If you ask me.
Yeah, Mike, you had an
spooning with me,
interesting
for instance.
you had an interesting first experience in that RV. Have you told people about it?
It was fantastic, man. I got to sleep with Josh Purvis, but it was weird because when I came back, I had to tell my wife not to shave for a week just so I could kind of get and just to kind of ease me back in.
Dude, I will never forget. We got back to my house and he was convinced that we were just going to stay in the RV for the night. I'm like, Mike, there are actual beds in my house, buddy. Like
we can go to the bed. I'm like, nah, are you sure?
The funniest thing that I witnessed during that whole trip was Josh had a bit of a snoring problem, and so Mike ended up at the end of the night switched up, and his head was at Josh's feet, and vice versa, and it was the most hilarious sight that I have ever seen in my life.
I'll never forget the one where he tried to get down in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom, and somebody had moved the ladder from the bunk.
Dude, they did, and I went to like hold myself. Bro, I literally
he like hammered his face. I didn't even know. I slept through it until the next day, but
I heard it. I definitely heard it.
It's so funny.
And then I still had to go pee, and man, I'm like, oh my jaw. And then one night I actually went to the bathroom and I hid behind his pillows.
Yeah,
I remember that too. That was so good, dude.
So yeah, I didn't even know he was there at first. But here's another thing that is kind of funny. Talking about going to the bathroom. So I decided to go whenever we were still driving. So the RV is moving a little bit and stuff, right? And next thing you know, it was without a moment. I couldn't even blink properly, right? And I just go head first into the wall in front of me. While I'm going to the bathroom, I'm like, this was a horrible idea. I will never do this again. But I had a headache after that. It was horrible.
We took it out to Louisiana, so we had it there when we filmed out there. We went and filmed in Alabama recently, and literally, dude, I mean, for us, we pulled into a truck stop and spent the night.
That was awesome.
I didn't go to that. I didn't go to that one. My decrepit self would not have made it.
Mike, tell him. I mean, you were sweating within about 5 minutes.
I bet.
It was brutal there. Hot, humid, bugs everywhere.
I know we were trying to do some shots, and like there were just bugs constantly. Like
don't sit there. You're on an ant pile.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at the footage of that though. That is, there's so many hilarious moments in that. Like, y'all just wait. That one's going to be a really good one.
The funniest part about that one is when we showed up, I had no idea how it was going to go down. Like even in my own mind. So like a lot of times people think like, oh, there's a plan. When I get somewhere, there is never a plan. I have literally nothing in my brain until I get there and I see, and then everything just kind of like turns on. Like that's the only way I could kind of describe it.
Dude, that one was kind of weird for me because I showed up and I like immediately had like some really good ideas of what to film. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I always have like a good way of like visioning things as you guys are doing them, but then to have like some forethought on some of that, it was pretty good.
That's why it takes a team, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, we've gone a little over an hour. We'd like to say thank you to TV's Shane Pittman and Josh, the Jumping Bean Purvis. You can find them on the Searchers Believe.
No, Josh is just proof that they actually found Bigfoot when they were out in the woods. So
it's true.
There was at least one Sasquatch out there.
The missing link.
Yeah.
No,
So
but
please
I
find them on
appreciate
Searchers
y'all.
on Facebook, Searchers Believe, Searchers.com,
Searchersbelieve.com. Yeah.
Searchersbelieve.com. Do you guys have an OnlyFans or no? Or
Only for you.
nice.
Woo!
I just wasn't sure where you were on that. You guys do have a Patreon? Is it a Patreon that you use?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So it's patreon.com/searchersbelieve.
And that's where you could find a lot of incredible extra content for Shane and Josh. If you really want to get to know them a little bit better, maybe see behind the scenes, see what they're going through.
Yeah, we're actually doing a
Zoom
meetup tomorrow, actually, through Patreon.
There you go. So go and sign up now. Sign up now.
Yeah.
All right, play us out.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all having us on.
Wow. Shane Pittman got fucking hit.